March 17, 2026. The strategic calculus of the Second Iran War shifted violently today as the Pentagon confirmed that a massive wave of amphibious and aerial assault assets is now streaming into the Persian Gulf. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the already fractured leadership in Tehran, the USS Tripoli, LHA-7, and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, MEU, have been officially redirected to the theater, bringing with them a specialized triple threat of marine infantry, heavy-lift Chinooks, and high-speed Ospreys. While the first 2 weeks of Operation Epic Fury were defined by high-altitude stealth and cruise missile precision, the arrival of the Marines signals the beginning of a flexible response phase. The message to the Iranian regime is unmistakable. The U.S. is no longer just dismantling the military from afar. It is preparing for the possibility of direct, shore-to-ship, and ship-to-shore dominance. The arrival of the 31st MEU, a floating fortress. The USS Tripoli, an America-class amphibious assault ship, is the centerpiece of this new escalation. Unlike traditional carriers, the Tripoli is optimized for aviation-centric marine operations. It currently carries a Lightning carrier configuration packed with F-35B Lightning II stealth jets. But its true power in this phase lies in its ability to launch and sustain a ground force of roughly 2,500 Marines. The 31st MEU is widely considered the tip of the spear for U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, and its sudden redeployment to the Middle East has caught Iranian intelligence off guard. This unit is a self-contained, air-ground task force capable of amphibious assaults, seizing contested islands or coastal facilities within hours, trap missions, tactical recovery of aircraft and personnel, ensuring that no American pilot remains behind enemy lines, embassy reinforcement, providing an immediate, lethal security presence for U.S. diplomatic assets in the region. Chinooks and Ospreys, the reach of the dragon. The most visible sign of the shock in Tehran is the sheer volume of MV-22B Ospreys and CH-47F Chinooks now being staged at forward operating bases across the southern flank of the Gulf. 1. The MV-22B Osprey, the speed demon of the Marine Corps. With its tilt-rotor technology, the Osprey allows the 31st MEU to launch troops from the Tripoli and land them hundreds of miles deep into Iranian territory, bypassing coastal defenses entirely. It combines the vertical lift of a helicopter with the speed of a fixed-wing aircraft, making the concept of a front line obsolete for the IRGC. 2. The CH-47F Chinook, the heavy lifter. While the Ospreys bring the men, the Chinooks bring the muscle. These tandem rotor giants are being used to ferry M777 howitzers, fuel bladders, and ammunition crates to remote lily pad bases. Their ability to operate in the thin, hot air of the Iranian plateau makes them the perfect tool for supporting potential ground contingencies in the Zagros Mountains. Tehran in panic. The invasion psychological effect. The sight of Ospreys flying in formation near the border has triggered a state of emergency within the Iranian capital. Following the strikes on the Mehrabad airport and the destruction of the Supreme Leader's personal aircraft on March 16th, the regime is hypersensitive to any sign of a ground incursion. Intelligence reports suggest that the IRGC has begun moving its remaining mobile surface-to-air missile SAM batteries into residential neighborhoods in Tehran, fearing that the Ospreys and Chinooks are the precursors to a decapitation raid aimed at the new leadership under Mojtaba Khamenei. They aren't just bombing us anymore. One IRGC defector reportedly stated in a debriefing, "They are surrounding us. We see the Ospreys, we hear the Chinooks, and we know the Marines are on the water. There is nowhere left to hide." The Karg Island contingency and the Strait of Hormuz. The most immediate mission for the 31st MEU appears to be the permanent securing of the Strait of Hormuz. While the U.S. Navy has successfully sunk over 60 Iranian ships and 30 mine layers, the threat of swarming small boats remains. Marines aboard the Tripoli are prepared to use their AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters and F-35BS to provide top cover, while ground teams occupy key islands like Greater and Lesser Tums and Abu Musa. By placing Marine air defense teams on these islands, the U.S. can effectively turn the strait into a one-way street, allowing commercial oil tankers to move while vaporizing any Iranian asset that ventures into the water. Furthermore, the recent strikes on Karg Island, Iran's primary energy hub, suggest that the U.S. is preparing to use the Marines to seize and hold the facility. If the U.S. controls Karg Island, they control 90% of Iran's export economy, providing a massive bargaining chip for the final act of the conflict. A regional realignment, the southern flank. The deployment of 2,500 Marines has also bolstered the resolve of regional partners. Saudi Arabia, which recently intercepted 60 Iranian drones aimed at its eastern provinces, has reportedly granted the U.S. unlimited access to its airfields for the Chinook and Osprey fleets. This partnership has effectively turned the southern coast of the Persian Gulf into a massive staging ground for Operation Epic Fury. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth emphasized today that this is not a nation-building exercise. This is about peace through strength, Hegseth said. We are providing our commanders with the flexible, lethal tools they need to ensure the Iranian regime never threatens the world with a nuclear weapon or a block straight again. The Marines are here to finish the job. The final tally, the momentum of war. As of March 17, 2026, the U.S. has struck over 6,000 targets inside Iran. The cost of the first 6 days alone topped $11 billion, but the Trump administration remains unapologetic. With the arrival of heavy armor, Abrams and Bradleys, and now the vertical envelopment capability of the 31st MEU, the Second Iran War is no longer a localized skirmish. It is a total systemic dismantling. The world watches with bated breath as the Ospreys and Chinooks roar toward the horizon. For the people of Iran, the sound of these engines is a harbinger of a new era. For the regime in Tehran, it is the sound of the end. This vertical envelopment strategy represents the ultimate evolution of modern maneuver warfare, stripping the Iranian leadership of its last remaining advantage, the rugged, defensive geography of the Iranian plateau. By utilizing Ospreys and Chinooks to bypass traditional front lines, U.S. forces are effectively turning the entire country into a three-dimensional battlefield where no command bunker or missile silo is truly isolated. The psychological weight of this transition is immense. The regime is no longer facing a predictable naval blockade, but a high-velocity insertion force capable of appearing anywhere at a moment's notice. As these aerial armadas darken the skies over the Persian Gulf, the international community is witnessing a systematic deconstruction of a regional power's sovereign defense. The Second Iran War has moved past the phase of strategic signaling and into a relentless operational tempo that leaves the IRGC with no room to breathe or regroup. With the combined might of heavy armor on the ground and elite Marine units in the air, the mission has shifted from containment to a total, irreversible systemic dismantling.